I'm hearing that there's quite a few questions on the overlapping triangles worksheet, so I'm going to go through some of those problems with you together. So, you should be able to get most of this worksheet done if you follow along. But please still let me know if there's questions after this. You don't just copy down the answers, okay? So the first three, it just asks you to separate the triangles and then label the part that they shared. So I did one in the last video. I'm going to do another one here. What we're going to do is separate this triangle. So we have this one, which is J, L, N. And then we also have this other triangle that looks like this. That's K, L, N. Okay, so I just took these triangles and pulled them apart so they look like this. And then labeled them LJM, one triangle, and LKN, this other triangle. Okay. There's one here. And there's one here. So all I did was pull them apart and label them. Now it asks us to label the shared part. Okay, in these triangles, the only part that they share is this angle right here. Angle L right there is in both triangles, the whole thing, the whole angle. So we can say this entire angle and this one are shared. That is the only thing. Okay, so that's all you have to do for those first three. Pull them apart like that, label them, and then mark their shared part. On the next ones, you can pull them apart, label them like that if you want, or if you can see them in the diagram and you don't have to pull them apart to see what you need to know, then you can just leave them. I'm going to do this one both ways for you. So if you don't pull it apart, what you know is that there's a right angle here and a right angle here. I'm going to, just a second. Here's one of the triangles. And then we have that triangle. Maybe it helps you to do them in different colors. I'm not sure. I just want to try some different ways so that you can use whatever way makes sense for you. Okay, so I have the blue triangle here has a right angle, and the brownish triangle also has a right angle. Okay, two congruent angles. We can see that they share, they both use this line WX, so that is shared. And then I have that ZW, this line, is congruent to XY, this line. So in the brown triangle, you can see I have a side, the angle, and this shared side. In the blue triangle, I have side, angle, the shared side, angle, side, and side, angle, side. Therefore, by side, angle, side, I can say that those two triangles are congruent. Like I said, we could have also pulled these apart, so maybe that's easier for you to see. So if I pull this apart, I have this triangle, WX, and then I have this triangle over here, which is WXY. I know this angle right here at W is a right angle, and I know the angle over here at X is a right angle, so I can mark those. They share WX, and WX, so I know those are congruent, it's reflexive. And then I was also given that ZW is congruent to XY, so I can mark ZW congruent to XY. So now I have my two triangles, side, angle, side. Side, angle, side tells me the two triangles are congruent. Okay, so either way, whichever way is easiest for you to see what's happening there. Then I have these two. So the two triangles I'm looking at are this one and that one. I was given that LP, this side on the blue triangle, is congruent to LO, LO is this side on the brownish triangle. They share that angle up there, so I can mark that for both of them, right? So you have a side, an angle, and then we were also told that PM is congruent to ON. And if this segment and this one are congruent, and this one and this one are congruent, then by segment addition we can say that this whole thing, LM, is congruent to this whole thing, LN. Okay, and LN is on the blue line. That whole thing is congruent to LM, this whole thing over here. So by side, angle, side again, I have congruent triangles. Now that may look like a lot for some of you. So if some of you want to pull it apart, let's try that. We have this triangle, L and P. And then we have this other triangle, which is LOM. They share angle L, so we can mark that congruent in both of them. We were given LO congruent to LP, and then because of PM and ON, remember we can say that the whole side length is congruent. Right, we added the side length to that one, and to this one knowing they're congruent. So LM congruent to LN, LM congruent to LN. Therefore, once again, by side, angle, side, side, angle, side, those two triangles are congruent. Alright, let's look at a couple more. I'll pull them apart this time. We have right here M, L, K. And then I also have this one, JML. Notice they both share ML. So by reflexive, we can say that that is congruent to itself. We were told up here that KL is congruent to JM, KL congruent to JM, and that KLM, this angle, is congruent to JML, JML, there's an angle, side, angle, side, side, angle, side, once again, side, angle, side. Okay, here's a triangle, let's pull that out here, J, K, M, and then we have this triangle down here, draw it over here, K, J, M, L, K, angle K is congruent to angle L, we were given, K is congruent to L. We were also told that JMK, this angle JMK, is congruent to MJL, MJL. There's the two angles we were given. Then we know they both share this line JM, JM, and JM. I have an angle, and a side. Angle, and a side. Now, the important thing to note here is that the side isn't the one between the two angles. This one is the side between the two angles. Therefore, it's not angle, side, angle. It's angle, angle. And the side is one of the non-included ones. Okay, hopefully that helps you a little bit on the overlapping triangle worksheet on the front. But I do want to go over the back with you as well. because the back is test prep. These are the kind of questions that are going to be on the test. So, we do need to know these. Okay, so we need to think about what we know about vertical angles, isosceles triangles, the interior angles of a triangle, etc. Okay, we were given that this is 92. And we know that these three angles, the three inside angles of a triangle, all add up to 180, right? So if this one, if they add up to 180, and that one there equals 92, then these two together, we'll call them x and y, they all add up to 180. 92, x and y add up to 180, the three interior angles. If we subtract 92 from both sides, we get x plus y equals 88. So these two together need to be 88. What we know is that this triangle is an isosceles triangle. It's got two congruent sides. And we know that in an isosceles triangle, the base angles, this one and this one, so x and y, are also congruent. An isosceles triangle has two congruent sides and two congruent angles. So if x and y are congruent to make 88, then they both must be x is 44, y is 44. The only two congruent numbers that add up to 88, right? So we have x is 44, we have y is 44. Then we need to look at this other triangle over here. We're given no numbers, but we know that this side and this side are vertical angles. So if this is 44, we know that this is 44. Then we're going to do the same thing that we did before. We have 44. This time I'll call them W and Z. If we know that 44 plus W plus Z equals 180. 44. W plus Z equal 180. Because they're all the inside angles of a triangle. Therefore, W plus Z needs to equal 180 minus 44, which is 136. Again, this is an isosceles triangle. We have two congruent sides. And in an isosceles triangle, the side that's not congruent, this side right here is the base. And we know the base angles are congruent, so W and Z are the same thing. Okay, so then we would just divide this by 2 to find that measure. Okay, so we know W equals, what do we got? 68, and Z equals 68. Okay, that's how we can find the interior angles for that top triangle. So we found angle A, D, and E as asked. Okay, these next four, it asks us to determine what additional information we need to prove the triangles are congruent. If we look at this first pair right here, right now what we have is an angle congruent and a side congruent. We need three things. So we can either say we need this angle, so that we can say angle, side, angle. Or we could say we need this side right here. So we can do side, angle, side. We could choose to do this angle over here. And do angle, angle, side. So there's lots of different answers here. It's just asking you what other information could you be given that would help you prove the triangles are congruent. Sometimes there's lots of different options. Like on this one, we have an angle and an angle. Angle, angle. So we can either choose the side between them, so that we could have angle, side, angle. Or we could choose a non-included side, so we'd have angle, angle, side. Oh, except that's the wrong one. Angle, angle, side. Okay? Other times, like this one up here, we have a right triangle. if this is a right triangle, we know we need the hypotenuse congruent and the leg congruent, right? So right now we have the leg congruent. We need to know that the hypotenuses are congruent. Okay, so it's just asking you to pick some information that if you knew was true, you'd be able to say that the triangles are congruent. All right, one more. I want to go over this bottom one with you quickly as well. It's asking us what if we knew that WX was congruent to WZ. And we are already, it looks like these are already marked. So we have XP and PZ congruent. What theorem shows that PXW, this triangle, congruent to PZW? This one. Okay, we have a side that was given, another side that was given, and we know by reflexive property that we can say WP congruent to WP. Therefore, we have side, side, side. All right. The rest of this, we have WZ congruent, no, XZ congruent to WY. We know that if, sorry, not congruent, perpendicular. WZ perpendicular, sorry, XZ perpendicular to WY. So that means that these are right angles. So we have that angle there congruent. We are given that XY is congruent to ZY. And we need to show that XYP, this angle, is congruent to ZYP, this triangle. Right? This triangle congruent to the bottom one. Again, they're right triangles. We know that this leg is congruent to this leg. And right here, we were given that the hypotenuse is congruent to the hypotenuse. So by hypotenuse leg, we can say that those two triangles are congruent. Okay, I know this is a long video, but I was getting a lot of questions, and I'm sorry I'm not there to better explain. So I wanted to go through them with you. Hopefully it helps a little bit. We will go over them again when I return. Thanks, guys.